Hi guys, Alex here with Inside. Today we have a new launch from Beyond in Maritime City called Soulever Tower. If you've been following along, you know that there have been a number of launches in Maritime City. In Dubai, it's probably one of the few areas that stands to gain the most in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm a fan of waterfront properties, and this is on the water. So let's go through it together, see if it makes sense for investment and what could your quality of life be there like if you choose it as a place to live. If we look at the master plan, remember that the project started about a year ago, launching with Orize, then they had Sensia, Mural here on the end, Talia here in the Forest District, and this launch is right over here. And they actually have modified this master plan a little bit. One or a couple of these towers will be removed so that Talia and some of the forest buildings will have views of the water this way as well. However, we know that whenever there is a master plan, the value of all the properties increases. First of all, the price increases with every single launch, and this is no exception. That's why it's always good to get in early. And when it's complete around 2030, the entire area will have a beach on the end. It will have Omniyat's hotel and likely residences, as well as supporting infrastructure around the island. The difference, I would say, the nuance with this building compared to Mural or some of the other launches, it's the closest to the main amenities for the community, like the lagoons that we have here. They have some swimming areas, wave pool. Of course, each building has its own pool, but also there's the master community amenities that are right nearby. The Forest District, which started with Talia, and you can see this in my earlier launch, there's going to be 3, possibly 4 more buildings here in the area, and this part right here will be a forest. What makes this area overall unique? Well, first of all, it's one of a few areas in Dubai that's on the water, that's not yet developed, and historically the beach line in the UAE is around 1% of the available land area. So if you think of it from a scarcity standpoint, anything that's exclusive, unique on the water, limited in stock will appreciate in price because the supply is capped. Even if they build a few more islands, and we know that they're able to do that, and they do it from time to time, it doesn't really affect that 1% sea/beach line area. So I think you can confidently invest in waterfront projects in the UAE. Still, there's nuances. The developer has to be good, the unit has to be correct, but as a broader thesis, it makes sense. Then we also know that this is a unique community and that will have a beach and a huge forest area. Right now, there's really not that many green areas in Dubai. There are some, but I think not to this extent. So it will be a unique community. And if you are an investor who wants to reap the rewards of capital appreciation, you want to make between, I would say, 15–80% on capital invested in the next 3 to 4 years, this project will fit the bill. And really, there are not that many in the UAE. Maybe there's 5–6 projects of a similar caliber. Let's go through the project. Of course, if you remember, this is the way that Maritime City looks, and they're going to be relocating the industrial operations to Port Jebel Ali. This part of the island, the bottom part, is owned, it's being developed by many different developers, and this upper part belongs to Beyond. This part will be more exclusive of Maritime City compared to the others. We'll have also a nice community from Emaar here in Port Rashid. Over here, Ellington is going to be doing a launch there soon as well. And so all in, we are starting to see the development, pretty rapid development of this area. I remember a year ago, there was only Anwa from Omniyat standing here, and rapidly the landscape here is shifting to include a lot more buildings. So there you can take a look. 2 towers, and this one, 32 and 44 floors. And I'll show you the layouts here in a little bit. This is just another view. In many ways, similar type concept, similar building layouts, where 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms will have the best views. They also have some chalets here on the podium levels that are 2 stories plus a roof that will have direct views of the water here. And this is the best view. Sometimes people think, what's the priority in terms of, location, developer, unit? All of them are important, but first, always the location. in relation to major landmarks around the area. Second is the quality of the developer. And then third is the location of the unit within the project. The view is the single biggest driving characteristic for resale value and liquidity. So the more unique the view is, the better the view is, the easier it is for us to resell, so that your unit isn't standing there just, being stuck in limbo for months at a time. The project, as I mentioned, called Soulever. As always, in typical Beyond fashion, you have a rectangular building with some nice amenities. Here's a view of where Maritime City is compared to Dubai. And of course, we have this part being developed. It's one of the most expensive areas in Dubai with Bulgari Bay. We have Amman residences over here, Rosewood, Asora Bay, Salaya, which is launching now. If you've seen my prior video, you can look at that as well. It's, I think, also a really unique, beautiful investment here on J1 Beach. And we have Maritime City and Dubai Islands. So all in, it's shaping to be a premium, let's say, location, part of Dubai. To the left, we have Jumeirah, where there's really not that many opportunities to buy because it's historically land. It's not freehold. It's reserved for locals and those who are expats who want to purchase something here. We're restricted to these areas at the moment. A couple more views of the towers. Typical, rounded corner design, pretty stylistically. I think they're all pretty similar, to be honest. The buildings, they're all well designed. They all have their cinema room, gym, pool, community areas, yoga areas outside. So I like that they're kind of promoting a healthy lifestyle. To be honest, most of these brochures, they all kind of look the same. But I want to point out the nuances for you from an investment standpoint, maybe quality of life standpoint, that can make the difference for you. So here, quality of life wise, it's next to the amenities. So you can walk much less in order to get to where you want to be. It's still, I think, walkable distance to the beach at the tip of the island. So all in, the location is good. The developer is part of Omniyat group, which is one of the highest end developers in the UAE. So I think the quality will be there. Of course, I'm looking forward to see how their first buildings turn out. Yeah, we have beautiful views of the water. We have some podium chalets, as I mentioned, and then we have 1 through 4 bedrooms. The pricing here is around 3,700 to 4,200 dirham per square foot. And that means 1 bedroom's around 3 million for decent units, 2 bedrooms around 5, and 3 bedrooms around 8. And we've seen this shift in the last year. I remember when Orize launched, the 3 bedrooms were 5 million for CV units, and now they're 8, and they're likely to go up to at least 10 to 12 million in the coming years. So even if you're coming in now, the prior projects are all sold out. It still may make sense to look at these for investment. I would say the exit time frame would be 3 to 5 years from now. The project is handing over, I believe, in 2029. So in about 3.5 years. And in general, that's when we would be looking to exit, if we exit before resale. When we speak, I have financial models that I build that show exactly what the potential return on investment would be. To be honest, I probably wouldn't recommend it for rental as much. I would focus on the resale strategy and maybe holding it 3, 5, maybe 10 years as the rest of the coastline of Dubai gets developed. And I would also consider living here because I think it would be a nice premium community. So unlike RAC, where a lot of the flow is from tourism, here the focus can actually be on reselling to end users, which captures an additional attractive market segment, I think, and could make for better returns, because generally when people deal with clients who are buying for their family, they are less usually picky than investors who try to analyze, sometimes overanalyze, to be honest, a lot of things. And they tend to be a little bit less price sensitive because they just want a nice view. They want a nice quality of life for their family, and that's more important than the price necessarily. So who could this be for? Let's say obviously investors who want to have returns. Here we can take a brief look at the model. Say we have a 50-50 plan here, which is great. So you have 8 million price, we have 4% DLD. So here in about 3 years, could look at about 80–85% on capital invested. Why? Because here I'm assuming about a 15% annual price increase, which is the market average. And this is not even accounting for the fact that it's a premium location, high-end building on the water. So that appreciation will likely be higher, but at least it gives you a benchmark, and we can go through these numbers together when we speak. Just briefly, I'll touch upon the floor plan. As expected, the best units are always going to be the larger ones. So we have the 3 bedrooms on the corners and 2 bedrooms here. The way the building is positioned, this is facing directly towards the water. It's at an angle, and these will have similar views. This will have, I would say, these are the primaries. This would be a secondary option. There's also another tower that we can take a look at. But in general, as for any buildings, the best units will have the most open views of the water. And this is another reason I generally recommend, and we end up buying 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, sometimes penthouses with clients, because they're the most unique and they have the highest resale value and the highest liquidity. So generally here, I think the focus is on, once again, resale in 3 to 4 years. Potentially you can hold longer than living here. That would be the primary focus. The location, I think, is quickly developing. The developer is good, and the pricing still has room for further appreciation. And sometimes people, say, well, let's take a look at what's available. To be honest, these types of projects sell out same day. And so even if you're watching this later, it's possible to get cancellations, and we do that, but the decisions do have to be instant. It's not the type of market where you can say, let's think about it for a few days, a few weeks. It doesn't work, guys. We can take our time to build out the strategy and understand exactly what we're looking at and why and how it fits into your goals. But when we're looking at units, the decision has to be on the spot. Sometimes my clients have literally 30 seconds to make a decision if they want to get a unit in one of these projects. If we want to get a unit in something that has a lot of inventory available, well, there's a reason for that. That means the project isn't selling. And yes, there are exceptions, but generally it happens to higher end projects where it's like 50, 100 million plus dirham for units, or it's going to be less desirable locations. So just be prepared in advance that this market is different than other markets around the world. And to participate here, it favors the bold. It favors people who are able to make snap decisions. And I'm happy to guide you through it to make sure that when it comes time to a decision, that part is simple, because we already understand what we're buying, when we're selling it, to whom, and approximately for how much. So we have a clear exit strategy defined with my clients for all of them. And that's what I'd be happy to do with you as well. If you resonate with the way that I analyze this, with how I view the market, whether it's this project or any others, I'm happy to work with you on this. You can reach out through the link below the video, say it's for Alex, so I get your message. You can find me on LinkedIn, check my background. I've been doing this for over 15 years, working with clients around the world with portfolio management in private equity and now in real estate. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to investments, to portfolio optimization, to managing relationships with developers to make sure I get the best possible conditions in units. And that's the value add that I provide in addition to my strategic guidance over the coming years with my clients. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your subscriptions. You can refer this also to any friends. Send my videos, please, to friends who are looking at Dubai or UAE, at least so they become more educated investors, because people sometimes buy terrible things here, to be honest, and then they're stuck and they can't get out. At least if they maybe watch my videos, they'll have an additional point of perspective on how to view investing and the market here, which is part of the reason that I create these videos. So thank you guys once again. My name is Alex. I'll see you next time.